Wine is the best alcohol. I'm not kidding. No, really. It is. It's awesome. We're going to talk about it. And the verdict on Napa's 2024 harvest, well, it is looking good. And speaking of Napa, Netflix is heading there. Will it be a 100-point effort? I'm excited about this. And in a real bit of sad news, Michael Rowland, considered really one of the world's greatest winemakers, has passed away. We'll talk about that as well. All that and more on this week's episode of This Week Uncorked. Well, hello and welcome to episode 94 of This Week Uncorked for Monday, May 4th, 2026. I'm Brett Martin from Corkage Journey. If you're not familiar with Corkage Journey, we are your number one source for corkage fees. And I mean that. If you go to ChatGPT and you say, hey, what's the corkage fee at this restaurant? It's going to say 90% of the time, well, Corkage Journey says, and you won't click on it. You won't go to my website, but I hope you do because there's so much more information there. Maybe we have a review of the restaurant. Maybe we've got their wine list there for you. We've got all kinds of other things. So you really do want to click through and go look at it. And we'll tell you how many bottles and we'll give you all the information you need. So we're your number one source for corkage fees. Check it out, corkandjourney.com. Hey, you know what else we have over there? Winery reviews, wine reviews, restaurant reviews, regional wine guides, and oh, so much more. And with that, let's get right on into this week's wine news. All righty. That's a Gestalt 2024 Pinot Noir. It's interesting. Gestalt, check it out, gestalt.com. It's David Finney. It's his new effort. Wine's coming in around $50 a bottle. I think they might be $60 now. Really good stuff. Does a quarterly release. That's one of them. Just came out. Very, very young Pinot, but still pretty tasty. Anyway, let's get into the news. Hey, over at Nautilus, Jake Curry is talking about early research that was previewed ahead of the American College of Cardiology's annual scientific session that argues alcohol's health impact may not just be by volume. Oh, it's safe to drink 1 glass a week. It's safe to drink 2 glasses a week, blah, 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 blah. But in fact, type. I have argued this forever, that having 2 glasses of wine is completely different than having 2 scotches. There's a whole different effect on your body, what it has to go through. Anyway, this is pretty cool. They basically did they drew up biobank data covering more than 340,000 adults. And the piece says heavy drinkers face a higher overall cause of cancer, heart disease, mortality, while low to moderate drinkers appear to have lower mortality risk than people favoring beer, cider, or liquor, or other consumption levels. But here's the bottom line from the article. A closer examination of low and moderate cohorts, those people who have 1 to 2 drinks a day, revealed something interesting. Low and moderate drinkers who prefer beer, cider, or liquor showed an increased risk of death. But those who drank a similar amount of wine showed a significantly lower risk of death. Case closed. Wine sales are going to skyrocket the next day or two. That's it. Napa, don't sell your wineries. We got you covered. All right. Hey, and before we move on with the rest of the news, a little bit of sad news here. Well, Jess Landner of the San Francisco Chronicle, many people are reporting this, but basically one of the world's greatest winemakers, master blender, Michael Rowland. Was born in Bordeaux. He's a great guy. I never met him. He died at 78 after a heart attack. But man, this guy is behind Harlan Estates, Screaming Eagle, Bryant Family, Dolly Valley. It just goes on and on and on. Big ripe, he's that whole Robert Parker style Cabernet, which is beautiful, and I personally like it as well. But anyway, from the article, in the 80s, Rowland became one of the world's first flying winemakers, a term used to describe sought-after enologists who consult for wineries across the globe. His winemaking was instrumental in the dominance of big, ripe Cabernets in the 90s and 2000s. He had a reputation for helping wineries nab high scores from top critics such as Robert Parker. There you go. Anyway, he will be missed, and we don't do a lot of that. Normally we cover people who passed in the newsletter, but this was pretty big. It's all over the place, so hard to. I kind of let it go for quite a while, but I thought we should talk about it here. Also, over in photography now, moving on, the 2024 vintage is out. It's basically a clear verdict. It was a hot, trouble-free growing season. There was a bit of rain, but it might not going to be as perfect as 2023, which everyone is saying is going to be one of the greatest vintages ever. Prior to that, 2022 was wonderful. 2021 was considered amazing. 2023 is supposed to be killer. But 2024 is not looking bad. From the article, the primary challenge facing the 2024 vintage in Napa, coming on the heels of the 2023 vintage, which was heralded by Napa vintners as the vintage of a lifetime. It's so exciting to use superlatives, but once you start, it becomes difficult to stop and particularly difficult to top. That said, no one seemed prepared to say that 2024 was better than 2023. In any case, in the absence of the previous season's adulations, however, 2024 would inherently merit substantial praise for its untroubled flowering, consistent ripening, and lack of inclement weather, other than that little bit of rain. But anyway, they got the harvest in. 2024 is looking to be outstanding. Kind of hard when you say, wow, we just had the harvest of the century in 2023 to say, wow, we just had the harvest of the year, I guess, in 2024. But either way, Napa is on a roll. And I am particularly excited about this last story over at the drinks business. James Bailey reports that Netflix is developing a new half-hour dramedy currently titled Uncorked. Not sure what to make about that. But it's by Darren Star and David Schulner. Basically going to put the entire culture of Napa Valley in front of the Netflix audience. Basically, the creators spent some time, I guess, in Napa Valley, working with producers, attending trade events. They're aiming for some sort of real-world wine credibility here. It is from the article. According to the Netflix announcement, the protagonist of Uncorked is a talented but self-destructive winemaker whose passion for wine becomes her undoing. Returning to Napa, she pursues both personal redemption and the elusive 100-point score, with the narrative drawing on the tension between ambition and excess. That'll be cool. So basically, it's going to be about a winemaker going for that 100 points, self-destructive, probably got a drinking problem. Who knows? Let's hope it's funny. Let's hope it works. Anyway, I'm excited about it. Anytime we got a good show about wine, that is always something to celebrate. All righty. And with that, let's move on to our wine and winery of the week. All righty, we're going to head down to Laguna Beach, California. McClain Cellars in Laguna Beach, California. It is located right on Laguna Canyon Highway, basically there. You kind of go on down and you can go to McClain Cellars. It's a lovely, lovely little tasting room. Unfortunately, their wines aren't so great, but, they got a nice little vibe, very, very friendly. There were a couple of their wines that I did enjoy, but it is worth checking out. It's a nice place to spend an afternoon. Tasting prices range from $29 to $49. Their wines are being made up in San Ynez Valley, up in like the Los Olivos. I don't think they're in Los Olivos. I think they're actually somewhere outside of Solvang. They've got a custom crush facility up there. Other people make their wines. They make their own wines there. They've been doing quite a bit for a while. There are, believe it or not, 3 tasting rooms in Laguna Beach. You've got McClain with most of their stuff coming from San Ynez Valley. And you have Bianchi, which they have a full-blown vineyard and, up in, and winery up in Paso Robles. And they have a tasting room in Laguna Beach as well, because the family is from there. And then you have got Laguna Canyon Winery, which is also on Laguna Canyon Road. And it is also there. And he gets a lot of his stuff mostly from Sonoma and Napa. J.J. Huber does over there. So anyway, if you are there, you've got 3 to choose from. McClain is lovely. I would probably, though, more or less go to Bianchi or to Laguna Canyon Winery, which happens to be our wine of the week. We're focusing on the 2016 Chaparral Cuvée from Fountaingrove. It is a Sonoma wine. J.J. Huber is, he's the owner there. He's a friend of mine. What am I going to say? He's also a favorite of locals. Anyway, this is a great Bordeaux-inspired blend. He consistently makes really, really decent wines. That was 93. This is the 2021 Cabernet Sauvignon 2.0. He's kind of rebranded himself, which is his 2.0. This is Red Hills Lake County. Is a lovely, lovely wine as well. I would probably say, if you got a choice and you're in Laguna, probably hit Laguna Canyon Winery, then hit Bianchi, and if you got time, go hit McClain. But we put it in there as well. Why not? It's not bad, but it's a lot for one little beach town to have. So there you go. And with that, let's move on to our restaurant Corkage of the week. All righty. And while we're in Laguna Beach, let's just stay there. You've just finished your wine tastings. You're looking for a great place to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nick's is located right in the heart of Laguna Beach. It is a reasonably priced for Laguna Beach, 4.5, 5 stars, California comfort, man. It's just a great place. It is packed. So be prepared to wait or get your reservations in. You can always get a seat at the bar, usually. It depends. But it's one of our favorite places and really worth going to if you get an opportunity. Corkage fee, $15 per bottle, no limit. We're going to have to recheck that one. I might have gone up a little bit since the last time we checked, but that's what it was a little bit ago. Hopefully that's up to date. We'll let you know. Maybe we'll update that by the time the newsletter goes out on this. All right. With that, everybody, we are going to wrap up this week's episode of This Week Uncorked. I want to thank everybody so much for stopping by. As always, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on social media, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, all that and more. And with that, let me see. We've been in Laguna. We've been everywhere. What do we want to do? You know what? Check out that interview with Ian Cobble down below. Master sommelier, all around great guy. Has a brand new wine club called the Cobblist. It's worth checking out, and I think there'll be a discount code for you there as well. Take care, everybody. Till next week. Cheers.